All right, so let's get down to it. Karen tells Wendy, "You talking too much, Wendy. I went through it. I know. Follow me here, Professor. Shut the F up." Clankety clank. Um, baby. Baby. Now, see, I don't even know what Wendy's supposed to say to that. Now, I would imagine that so when you see the trailer, they do show some of those scenes that we saw with Wendy and Eddie in the midseason trailer. They've put those in apparently the reunion. I would imagine that Wendy and Eddie are following what their attorneys are telling them to say and not to say. I would also have to wonder if they're following more closely what their attorneys say more so than Karen did. But at the end of the day, they are still out and about doing, press for their businesses. Wendy went to BravoCon. She obviously, I think, also filmed the after show, but I'm not sure of the dates that the after show was filmed, so I cannot verify that yet. But once I do, I trust and believe I'll come back and tell you. So similar to Karen, what Wendy is doing is continuing the promotion of the show, but she's not really too much commenting on the particulars of the case, which is quite different from what Karen did, which is that Karen somewhat outright denied that this was going to be an issue. She was very firm with her that all of this was going to work out and it was going to blow over. It was as if the lawyers were not telling her that this video was going to nail you. And so once we saw said video, then that became the real evidence that, okay, like, ma'am, I mean, Thomas Jefferson. So I think that Karen's advice to her, and I got to hear it all in full because, we don't really know based on the preview. Some of that, they might have chopped up. She might have been telling, Karen might have been telling somebody else to shut the F up. We don't really know. But Karen was definitely in denial. Karen definitely seemed to feel that she would be vindicated with her innocence and that this would all blow over. And I don't know that Wendy is taking the same stance. But again, we have to hear what Wendy says at the reunion to really understand if Karen is justified for what she is saying to Wendy at that point in time. Because we don't see Wendy respond in the trailer. We just see her continuing to cry more tears and more tears and more tears. So I would be interested to see how that is received from Wendy with regards to the case, with regards to Karen telling her all of this. How will it be received, and what is Karen's general stance towards Wendy, especially after the season that they had previously had? Is it still going to be what Stacey said, that Karen claims that something to the degree that Wendy wasn't a girl's girl and she was all about herself or something to that degree? I can't recall what it was because so much has happened betwixt that period of time and now. So will it be that? And then combining that energy with, girl, I've been to this space that you're in right now, and I know how serious this is, and you need to shut the F up with everything that you're saying about all of this, because all of these things can and will be used against you. Or is Karen saying to Wendy, shut the F up about how much money y'all are spending here, there, and everywhere? Now, if it is that, then that's also a point, because y'all know every single y'all if y'all like me, you were counting every single reference that Wendy made to finances on this show. How much the you know what do you call it, the renovations cost, talking about how rich they are, how much money the businesses were making. The kids were rich. How much we spent on the earrings in the spending circle, which I thought was kind of crazy to me, the little spending circle. So it could be that Karen is talking about the repeated inferences to finances on the show. Because again, I know I was looking at it every time they mentioned it. I'm like, oh God, y'all ain't want to edit that out? Like, y'all ain't want to take that out of the show? Y'all, I mean, not that they can save her, because if she said it, then they're probably not. Let me tell you something. They're probably not going to recut these episodes. Okay, they're not going to. I doubt that. Once those episodes are in the can and submitted, it would probably take something real crazy, real crazy, for them to take something out at that point. Once that thing is locked and loaded and you send it to network and you send it out, it'd be hard to kind of figure out how you're going to now you the places that you might have put it in, where it's going to go. And then, are they supposed to save her? That's the other thing. Are they supposed to go back in and re-edit things to make her look or a different, to make her, to cut those parts out? What do they do in that instance? Because then what if they could be subpoenaed for the raw footage or footage of some sort that indicates that she's talking about things? And why didn't you guys show these things? Why did you go back and re-edit this? So I would assume that they're just going to have to say, you know what, whatever was said, whatever episode was locked and loaded and put out there, whatever she said in the episode is whatever it's going to be.